Hello, everyone. Okay, hello, everyone. It's 11. We are starting our second webinar on heat pump bonus. So it will be a short webinar just for your information. I have scheduled about 15-20 minutes for the update and case studies, and then I have left like 10 to 15 minutes to the questions if you have some. So please feel free to use Q&A feature, right? And please feel free to discuss it. So before we start, a couple of small reminders. So this event is recorded. We will publish as soon as we finish. We will publish within the day the replay, so you will be able to access it. It will be available on the platform where of these webinars. So you will just click on the link within the invitation, and you'll be able to access the replay. I know that the last time several persons had problems to reach the replay. So if you have any troubles seeing it, please feel free to write to me, and I will work with this problem with our IT. That's what we done last time. Also, this presentation, of course, will be available in the replay. Yeah. So that's very briefly. Your mics are cut, your cameras are cut, so that we'll just go through the information. Please participate in Q&A. Two persons will be talking today. So myself, I'm a program manager for heat pumps for residential and light commercial programs. And Loris, you know him, he is the program manager for LCP HP, and we also have an invited guest of Sophie. She, for those who don't know, Sophie Bouquillon is our contact person who works with the DAM directly. So she's here to help us if there are some questions about interaction with the government, and we don't have any direct answers. So we will talk briefly about the update. I will talk about more in detail about case studies, because I have been receiving questions about how to interpret this or that rule and how to put it in place. So I have gathered information based on those questions, and I have prepared the explanation for them. Then Loris will talk about what is put in place and is going to come for LCP HP. I will explain for residential heat pumps, and then we'll have the question and answer session. So if we're ready, I see that I had about, yeah, people are coming right now. So yeah, without further ado, everybody is coming, so let's dive into the passionate and user-friendly world of heat pump legislation. As a reminder, also I had those questions from some participants of our program. Please bear in mind that for the moment we are in let's say beta test period for the government of putting these incentives in place. So for the moment, all that we will be talking about only concerns two types of products that are described in these two technical data sheets that are available on the internet, on the DEM site, and only these two types, well, actually three types of heat pumps will be concerned for the moment. And of course, if there is any development, or rather when there are developments, we will put in place an information for you. The second point that I would like to remind you is that this HP bonus is an additional layer of governmental incentives for CE bonus, right? So they are concentrating on resilience criteria, which are the assembly of the refrigeration circuit within Europe, but those resilience criteria on their own can't make your products eligible for the subsidies. They have to correspond to the performance criteria set in these two technical data sheets, right? So basically, these will be based on seasonal energy efficiency parameters that are defined for each type of heat pump differently. Right. So these resilience criteria, so of this additional layer, apply differently to heat pumps depending on whether they are monoblock or splits. Again, a reminder, please, multi-splits are not concerned for the moment because within these technical data sheets of ADEM, they are seen as air-to-air heat pumps, and air-to-air heat pumps are not yet covered by these subsidies. So single split. So for monoblocks, short reminder, the resilience is final assembly of the refrigeration circuit within Europe. And for split heat pumps, final assembly of one of the units within Europe. So it may be indoor unit or outdoor unit, knowing that there are very, very precise criteria within the legislative text of how to define indoor unit. But the main criteria that you should bear in mind is that they must contain at least one condenser to be eligible to the subsidies under this program. So let's dive into the resilience. Resilience will be checking several different types. So when we say assembly, it's quite simple. It's looks quite simple, saying, yeah, okay, what are we going to talk about? But actually, it hides several different requirements that you have to prove and that you have to go through. ADEM has checked our plans of audit and what is going for audits, what's written in technical rules, and they recognized our programs of audit programs as already compliant with the requirements of resilience. So you will have all those parts for those who are in our programs checked, like assembly, leak tightness checks, and pressure test, qualification of welders, and electric security tests. So these are already checked, and these are already compliant with the requirements. But what needs to be... Yes, Mariano, I'm sharing my screen. Do you see it? Loris, please tell me if you see my screen. You're on mute.
Yes. Okay.
Yeah. All right. Thanks. So coming back for resilience criteria, what is important? Because I still had questions this morning about this. So the audits have to be done each year for each factory. However, what we require as each factory, right? So each factory only for products that are declared in ADEM database. So if you have declared your products, say on the 20 kilowatts, and the rest of your products that are above this, you decided not to declare them, and they are manufactured in a different factory, this factory doesn't have to be audited every year. However, as soon as your products are declared in the ADEM database and you have declared the place of manufacture, these have to be audited, right? So that's the requirement for the compliance. So what we have done for this is basically the work to put a spotlight on what we are already doing, so that when you are going through audits and when you use them as the confirmation confirmation of compliance with the DEM. So you don't have actually to do additional work or bear additional costs. So bear in mind that all the modifications that I will talk about are these. So just highlighting things, not adding additional things for you. So that's about audit templates and declaration lists that you'll see. So in LCP HP, the particularity is that not all, unlike in NF, not all the factories are audited every year. So this is for the moment under discussion, but you will talk about it with your customer manager and project manager more in detail if you need. But this is an option for yearly audits for LCP HP. Again, if you decide to declare the products in the ADEM database and only for the manufacturing sites, all the products that are declared in ADEM database. And you are aware, of course, that from the last year, we have put in place a combined track. So it's a combination of different programs of certification delivered at the same time to save you the costs, to save you the time, to save you the man hours on certification, because we know that it's a lot of work. So here in audits, we have put in place the possibility to have a combined audit. So if your programs are, if you have several audits for several programs, please reach out to your customer manager, reach out to your program manager and ask about the combined audit and how it can be put in place. Yeah, again, it can be organized for those who participate in different programs for different products. It doesn't concern only heat pumps. So after the first webinar, the most questions that I had during the first 2 months were about where do I get the data? How do I get registered in this database? Remember, it's still ADEM who registers the new participants, etc. So we here is the link. It will be available also in description of the webinar in the replay that you can use to reach the official page of ADEM where they update all the data regularly, and you see the 2 email addresses that they have put in place. So here you will be reaching directly the project team who works on the ADEM database. Please use them for registration if you have any troubles filling in the forms, if something is not working, or also if you have the suggestions, because the ADEM project team are open for like user friendliness amelioration, so feel free to contact them. And of course, they have confirmed on this official page that our certification programs are recognized as compliance proof. Last time, when we were talking about the calendar, it was very tight, was very ambitious. So it's a little bit easier right now. You see that the publication of approved models list has moved from June to July, and subsidies allocations have moved from June to September. What does it mean? It means that you have the time to apply for preliminary study of your products in advance, and you have the possibility to work with them before the dispositive starts and before the regulatory texts are published. So preliminary date is 1st of April, but we have no confirmation yet that the project will not be moved again. So please bear in mind that this is a preliminary date. If you apply in advance, what you should bear in mind, and they really, like the government really wants you to join the database in advance, because you will test the procedures and that will help them also to test the procedures and their site. As I mentioned earlier, they are open to suggestions of modifications for the moment. So if you have tested the platform and you see something that can be ameliorated, they are open to integrate it. Your submission processing and approval will be more rapid right now because there are not a lot of applications, but starting from the moment where the subsidies are in place, we expect bottleneck, we expect traffic jams on this site. So if you want your products to be listed quickly, please go before that. And of course, the products will be published in advance. So for the preliminary calendar that I have showed you on the previous slide, they will be published from July. But the subsidies will be open from September, which means that in July and August, you have the possibility to already announce that your products are eligible for these additional subsidies before the subsidies are in place. Right. So I would like to, as I told you, I would like to dwell a little bit more on two case studies. So first case study is for the product when we have the same product with the same reference, model reference, that is manufactured at different production sites, right? So there are two ways to proceed for it. First, if this product is manufactured in two production sites and the two production sites are situated within Europe, what we have to do is we can use one model number, but we have to declare the two addresses in the database. However, if this product is the same model and manufactured in two different sites, one within Europe and one outside of Europe, these models should have distinctions. So either different model numbers or like additional letter, however, but there should be a possibility to have a trace of where this product is coming from, and only the products manufactured within Europe are to be uploaded in the database. So that is the first case. The second case is a bit more complicated. So it is for the manufacturers who are now manufacturing outside the European Union, would like to meet the resilience criteria, so start manufacturing within Europe, but the project is not ready yet. So the government has put in place what they call a transitory approval. It is new. And it aims to help those manufacturers to get their products listed in the database while transferring the manufacturer in Europe. So what does it mean? The approval, you can declare your products. The approval is given for 1 year on the condition that this transfer will be done within 2 years from your declaration. And the latest the latest date until which such transitory approval can be delivered is end of December 28. So they deliver it for a year, and it's renewable once for 1 more year. But if you have applied, say, in 2027, it will anyway expire at the end of 28, right? But what you have to do is to supply, of course, more paperwork, right? We love paperwork. So on top of all the documents that have been listed in the first webinar to prove compliance, the company that is seeking transitory approval will have to supply additional paper proving that they are already started and they're serious about the process of transferring the manufacturer. So they will ask you for a description of the investments that you plan. They will ask you to provide an official timeline with technical and financial milestones, so basically business plan, right? provide you the address of future sites or sites that you're going to implement in Europe, and also what they call proof of project solidity and proof of the manufacturer's commitment. So these are not very clear, but like this, when they formulate it like this, but actually they have a very concrete criteria. So bear in mind, these criteria are copied from the official information page. So I have just given like an essence of what should be in this criteria. But if you want to know a bit more in detail, please check the official papers. So for proof of project solidity, they just want to know that the manufacturer that comes won't end his life within 2 years before starting the manufacture in Europe. And proof of manufacturer's commitment is to prove you that it's just not paperwork, right? So that something is being actually done on the integration of your manufacturing in Europe. So title of ownership of the land or facilities, if you're buying facilities, construction of the authorization already approved if you are constructing, equipment for main orders, orders for main equipment if you have not started the construction yet. And of course, proof of finance. So they want to see that loans have been approved by the bank or subsidies have already been approved and not in the process. So they want to see that you are serious about it. Sorry, I'm looking for the questions before I continue. Is there a template for the evidence of the manufacturer's commitment to ensure manufacturing? Unfortunately, there are no evidence for, so the question is there a template for evidence of the manufacturer's commitment to move the manufacturing within Europe? So no, there is no template for the moment. And they will study it case by case because, again, we are in beta test version of testing. This is a requirement that has been introduced quite recently. So for the moment, I mean, it will be trial and error for us. But please go to the official page. Even if there are no drafts for how it should be presented, it is described really in a detailed way. And also, please, if you have any troubles filling in the requirements, come to or defining, like when we were talking about how to define whether your manufacturer complies with the criteria or which unit should be declared, come to us. We are in direct link also with ADEM. We will be able to assist you through all your technical questions. And that's what we're coming to. So we have a direct contact with ADEM project team on this project. We're working with them weekly on this. We have the official authorization from them to help you through the application process. As I have mentioned earlier, we are working on building an API with them. So we're for a moment a bit dependent on the government's technical team. So we are waiting for their feedback, but it's ongoing. And of course, we will keep this format of short information webinars, like 15, 20, 30 minutes. In order to keep you updated. And we also working on putting in place a simplified track via the certificator. Loris, I'm sorry, I was a little bit long for the first part. We have 5 minutes left.
No, no problem. Hi all. I will be short because I'm not changing the requirement of resilience and what is really needed to have to apply to this ADEM bonus for also LCPHP participants. Okay, as already said, there is the linkage between the heat pump, okay, the model itself and the manufacturing place. So For us, in our declaration list, we are going to integrate additional columns for, of course, state the manufacturing place. So this information more or less is already available, okay, in our system because we have the manufacturing site, but it's important to have direct linkage between the model and the factory place, okay, like already discussed for the case study 1, where the same unit can be manufactured in 2 different places. So to have evidence, we have direct linkage, okay. We are going to share in future better information about specific format, also because there are running plans to have API and make everything simpler. But of course, we should be ready by 1st of July, so this is first attempt to solve in easy way and clearly manageable the need to have this information. Okay, so about releasing criteria. Okay, for NF414, HP Keymark, and HP Euro, okay, Olesya said that they are mainly covered. For LCP, we don't have full coverage of resilience criteria, so combined track, if you are certified with Eurovent for also NF414, HP Euro, or HP Keymark, is easier to fix the resilience criteria. If you are with us for SPHP, okay, we have to add additional checks in audit. For those who want to apply to them, it's just simple to share this need, okay, and we're going to take care that small additional time should be foreseen to go through the resilience criteria to be checked and to be integrated on the audit plan. So everything is stated and put in place to satisfy requirements for them. So it's important for you to share this need so we can take care about these additional checks. Okay. Well, this is a small overview about the additional checks for resilience criteria that are going to be implemented in the audit. Okay. They are according to a DEM request. So it's not really large change in the audit, not really large effort, but of course, the main topics about assembly, leakage test, electrical safety, and welders should be verified, of course. And for future, we are going to go through our program committee meeting. We are going to discuss if these requirements should be optional or should be integrated in each audit to easily meet mostly of the time these ADIM requirements. Okay. One on top, we have also to check and understand according to manufacturing site units that are eligible, the plants that should be audited, because sometimes for large companies they have several plants and maybe could be really hard to manage all the sites. So take into consideration that according to your interest to apply, okay, could be easier to focus only on relevant units or relevant manufacturing sites that are manufacturing maybe smaller units that are fitting the request for ADEM. And I have to say that almost all, for any need, feel free to reach out us. We are glad to support you and to guide you through this process that with us could be for sure easier. For me, that's all.
Thank you, Loris. Thank you for this. I'll brush briefly through NF414 so that we have time for questions and we don't overgo too much for our time. So, as I said, the performance compliance and resilience compliance are already installed within the program, so nothing changes in this. Next step will be API. Again, I will be holding same as Loris, the program committee, and we will decide what will be together, which will be the best way for you to transfer your data to them in case you want it. We also have put in place a slight change in our declaration files. For those of you who have received the selections recently, you already might have seen this. So it's only, again, introduced for the concerned heat pumps, so the concerned types of heat pumps, and it should be put into the specific format, which might still evolve, as Laurie said, with API implementations, because we're receiving regularly an updates on how it should look like to us to be able to upload it in the database. So bear with us. We are not trying to make your life harder, but changing it, but on the other way. Anyway, if you need any help in filling in, you have questions, please reach out to your customer manager. They have already been trained on how this all should be filled in, and they will be able to walk you through the process. As for the audit, you will see some changes in the form, but please bear in mind that these changes are only to improve the visibility for ADEM. So some of the lines that were very short are now expanded to like copy the requirements of resilience with ADEM, but for the content changes, nothing changes. Everything will stay the same. Don't be afraid by these new forms that you receive. And that's it for us. If you have some questions, please feel free to write them. And in the meanwhile, I have prepared several questions also from mails that I have received in the preparation for the webinar. So the contacts of the platforms for those who want to register and who have not received yet the notification from the government, they are on the information access slide, and I will add them also into the description of this webinar. So when you need to reach them, please go back to the page of the webinar, the replay, you will have the links there. For the factory audits, so I'll go through it again. Each of the factories should be audited for those products that are declared yearly. But for LCP-HP participants, this remains for the moment optional, and then how to put it in place you will decide during the next program committee together with Loris and Mustafa. For the costs, which is normal because we are adding additional requirements. So for those who participate in NF programs, Euro HP programs, there is no additional cost for those participants. Everything is set in place by us. For LCP-HP, well, you have not been auditing all of your factories every year, so this is the additional cost coming from the ADEM. But again, we have put in place this combined track for you to be able to reduce the hassle and the cost. Please reach to your program manager or customer manager about it if you want to know more in detail. And we have not, so I have a question about the next webinar. So yes, we'll be holding additional webinars on this topic. I don't know yet when, but they will be short, half an hour. We'll update you. We'll add some case studies if needed. Just stay tuned in the mailing list. If you want a colleague to be added to the webinar mailing list, please contact me. I will add them, and yeah, stay tuned. We'll keep you informed.
Olesya?
Yeah.
Sorry to interrupt you. There is a question about the scope of heating capacity for the unit eligible for ADEM bonuses. So right now is still 30 kilowatt, the upper limit for units that are going to be registered in ADEM. Right? If I remember right. And maybe we are not sure, could be changed in future, so stay tuned for any possible update or change. That's it.
Yeah, to be able to define whether your unit is in the scope of HP bonus or not, please refer to these technical data sheets. So 171 and 172, they are available on the internet. You can go through them. If you have difficulties defining whether your equipment is eligible or not, reach out to your customer manager within Eurovent, who will help you through this. All right. Just one more question. How do you get an FS? So yeah, Cristiano, to your question about the declaration within NF and the transition period. So you have to ensure that, well, as I said, this transitional period, you are within the 2 years from the latest declaration, then you proceed through normal NF declaration for your products, but you will have to add these documents on top of them. I think it's better that we go in detail through this separately, because we are already above our time. And if there is, so give me a call, write me an email, we'll set up the time and we'll talk about it plus in detail, in more detail. And then if needed, we'll set up a case study for this. And I have another question in the chat.
Yes.
Yeah, please, Loris, you know.
About extension on BAER TH179 group, and I think is under evaluation, and as said at the beginning, any further extensions for footer groups are being evaluated in future time to understand if they can meet the additional bonus for ADEM. So right now there is no news, and as soon as we have, for sure, thanks to Sophie and our direct link to ADEM, we are going to share information in future webinars, I think.
I think so too, yeah. So I see there are no more questions. So thanks everyone for making time for this webinar. Sorry again for being longer than scheduled, and for any further questions or assistance, well, you know who to contact, right? So feel free, we are here for you. Thank you. Bye.
Thank you all. Have a nice day.
Have a nice day.